What if I were to tell you that, like water, prices of any asset or any forex pair, they also move where there is the least resistance? Germany is practically gone bankrupt. So all the luxury brands, be it cars, be it motorcycles, be it fashion, everything is in a decline. So if I look at the short time frame, even though the price is going sideways, the channel is still pointing downwards, but is angling a little higher than like really, really long term. And my standard deviation channel is telling me that the price right now is almost at 2 standard deviations. These are the kind of tools you use for your analysis. Look at this, guys. GBP USD has already broken 1.32 and it is going all the way to par. That's the trade I am waiting for. Hello guys, this is Vinit from Edge-Forex, and surprise, surprise, Fed comes out yesterday and drops the interest rate by 25 basis points. Big surprise. I'm sure nobody was expecting it. Just kidding. So nothing really happened. Everything was priced in. There were no surprises. We were not expecting any. Dixie is again stuck in a range bound and no real surprises. I think Dixie is about to turn, and I'll tell you why. What if I were to tell you that, like water, like any fluid, like any liquid, markets or prices of any asset or any forex pair, they also move where there is the least resistance? And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. Because right now, the path of least resistance for dollar denominated pairs is in favor of the US dollar, because there's a lot of bad news coming out of EU. Germany is practically gone bankrupt. France is a basket case. Southern Europe is a welfare state. There's no production, and there's no real there's a deal between Europe and Trump, but it has yet to show effects, positive effects. So there's a lot of bad that is happening in Europe right now, and there are a lot of layoffs. Porsche came out and said last year profits were only 100 million compared to over 2 billion for the year prior. And next year they're expecting losses. So all the luxury brands, be it cars, be it motorcycles, be it fashion, everything is in a decline. So I think path of the least resistance right now is in US favor. Okay, so now that said, how do I figure out, okay, if the tide is turning? Yes, we've spoken about RSI divergence, we've spoken about trade entries, all of that. And I'm talking about strictly chart analysis. See, right now you're looking at a 4-hour chart of Dixie, DXY, dollar index. Okay, and you see a bunch of lines. These are nothing but standard deviation lines. So the center line is 0, and then 1 deviation, 2 deviation, and one set of deviation lines or channels is a bit of a long term, and it's extended to the right. And the other one is of the short term, also extended to the right. So looking at the 4 hours, so let's actually zoom out. Let's see what a really long-term chart will say, telling us right now. Let's look at the daily chart, okay? And let's see what that chart is telling us, where the prices are headed, or where the deviations, where the standard deviation, price movement in what deviation channels. Okay, so now just to give you guys a bit of basics, that if the price is spending more times above the baseline, which is a 0 deviation, and towards the first deviation or the second deviation, the channel will kind of slope upwards. In other words, the path of least resistance is up, not down. So let's look at daily chart for DXY. Okay, guys. So now you can see, hey, that's as bad as it gets when it comes to looking at a chart that is pointing bearish or lower. Yes, I agree with you. But imagine, guys, you have a tide that is turning. You don't see a tide turning on a flip of a switch. You see certain waves turning first. Like a small waves will turn, that bigger waves will turn, and then the big tide is going to turn on you. But how to figure out those waves? Now imagine those little waves are a 4-hour chart, a 1-hour chart, a 5-minute chart. Even if you want to go look at the details of that turn, because you want to kind of peel it surface one layer at a time. That's how you go about it. So I find this really, really beneficial. Now, if I were to look daily, everything is telling me it's very, very bearish. Okay, now it's a little. So if I look at the short time frame, even though the price is going sideways, the channel is still pointing downwards, but it's angling a little higher than like really, really long term. Okay, now let's see what's happening under the hood, under the surface of this particular price move. Okay, so let's go look at the 4-hour chart, because that's going to show us a totally different picture. That's telling us that, hey, there is a move here. This wave, a 4-hour wave, has started to turn. But its turn has even kind of intensified in the last few days. In the month of October. And looks like it's pointing higher and higher, and the trend is getting stronger. Okay, so now we also, then let's go in and dig a little deeper within one layer further. Say, let's go 1-hour chart. Okay, guys, 1-hour chart is saying that, hey, even though the overall trend is high, but for the last day, 2-3 days, it's kind of choppy. It's going lower a little bit, which I think is about to change, is going to start going upwards. So now, if you want to go even lower, let's look at 5-minute chart. Okay, guys. Everything is looking so bullish. So all the little waves have started to turn. 5-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. They are turning, if not already have turned. So now we're looking at that big wave turn into a tide turn. That is the daily chart that is going to come, I don't know, maybe another week, 10 days. I don't know that. Nobody knows that for a fact, like for sure. We cannot predict market 100%. Everybody knows that. So now, looking at this, I can tell that, yes, my short-term price move is, the path of least resistance is high for Dixie. Okay, Dixie is dollar index. So now I would favor all the charts that are dollar denominated, for example, EU or USD, that'll show me, that should theoretically show me that the price is moving lower. That means dollar is getting stronger. If I look at GBP USD, that should also do me the same picture. If I should look at USD CAD, USD CAD, the price should be going up. If I look at USD CHF, the price should be going up. Okay, so let's look at EU or USD, my favorite pair. EU or USD. There we go. So now, even though 5-minute is saying is going higher, that means USD is getting weaker. But look at the long-term 5 minutes. It's getting really, really strong trend. So now, let's look at 1 hour. 1 hour, the long-term trend is saying that, hey, the price is below zero deviation more than it is above. So path of least resistance is low. But during the last few days, the path of least resistance is high. So at 1 hour, it's a little conflicted. But I think when we go to 4 hours, it's going to tell us a different story. I think. I haven't looked at it yet. See, again, 4 hour, it's a little confused. So it's going sideways in the long term, but the short term is taking a severe down move. So now where we can see all these waves are turning and the process of turning. And that's how you can predict a turn. You can predict a move. And I'm saying this in itself is not a strategy. Okay, guys, it's not a trading strategy, but this in itself can help you understand where pairs are headed generally. So you can do those long-term trades that I keep telling you about. So now you see that the tide is in process of turning. We can start looking to add to our EU or USD sell trades GBP. Let's look and see what GBP USD doing. So this is 4 hours. So GBP USD, I guess it is going lower. There we go. So both the long term and the short term is going really, really low. Look at this, guys. GBP USD has already broken 1.32 and it is going all the way to par. That's the trade I am waiting for. And look how, just looking at here, I'm deviating a little bit because I saw something and I thought I'll show you guys. Yeah. Inverse head and shoulders. Boom. There's a price break move, but not that high. Not that great of a inverse head and shoulder. But I think this one is telling us volumes. Boom. Now that's a reliable one. Again, you can say this is another one, this is another one. But again, when it comes to these major pairs, guys, they are really, really predictable. As I was telling you in my last video, that these head and shoulder patterns are all over the place in these charts. Now look at this, guys. Again, another one. This is why I love trading these majors. And boom, price break, and there's this huge $400 pips move. Again, these are, again, now this is telling me, because this shoulder line is broken, I didn't even look at it before. And my standard deviation channel is telling me that the price right now is almost at 2 standard deviations, and it's getting, the trend is actually getting stronger. So now this is going to turn lower even more sharply. So I just wanted to give you guys a window into how, if I want to do analysis on trend, and if I want to see the trend change, if trend is changing for, if it's gearing up or going down or going sideways, these are the kind of tools you use for your analysis to see. You've got to take the high time frame, like a daily chart or a weekly chart, see the trend and see the deviation channels, see if it's pointing up, pointing down, and then if it's actually making a turn, and then start going one step lower, and then the picture and everything will unfold in front of your eyes. And these are very powerful tools, but again, in itself, it may not mean anything. But combined with other strategies, combined with other tools and other analysis that you perform, it will add a lot of value to it. I call these value-added tools, and which I use, I wouldn't say daily basis or anything like that, but I would say every 2-3 weeks, I'll go in and see that, hey, how the plumbing doing for these particular trends? Are they actually strong, getting stronger, getting weaker? So I can do my long-term trade analysis. I can do my long-term trade planning, so to say, accordingly. So that's it. I thought this is something interesting that was happening, and I shared with you guys. And I hope you found some value out of it. And leave me some comments. Let me know if you want to dig deeper into it with other pairs, or you want me to give you guys similar tips on other tools and analysis tools that I actually use. All right, guys. For now, I'll call it a day, and then I'll be back with another video. Guys, what I want to cover is a question I get asked at least 2 to 3 times a day. How long will it take for me to become a profitable trader? And I'm going to address that in a video on its own, because it's a topic that has been brought up so many times. And I said, okay, guys, I'm going to cover it once and for all. I'm going to go deeper into it. Then anybody has that question, I can just point them to that particular video. That's it for now, and I will be talking to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.